Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to a video that I've wanted to film for quite a while, and I feel like we're ready. After I touched on the dog walk situation and how they feel to me, and reading your responses to that, I feel like we're ready. I do feel like this subject might ruffle a few feathers, and I completely respect if that does. If it does, let's try and keep it respectful in the comments. I think that as long as we can always be understanding to other people's point of views and maybe not get too lost in our own emotions and attachments to things that other people won't understand, and just keep it respectful. You might not agree with me on this, and it's absolutely fine. If you want to, you can make your own channel, you can share your own opinions, and you can share them with your own audience over there, exactly like I'm doing. So in this video, I want to talk to you about how to create a luxurious life that doesn't cost anything. And that's even gonna ruffle a few feathers. What I mean by that is that all of this stuff that you can see behind me now, to me, this isn't luxury, not anymore. These are milestones in my career. They are motivation. They're items that motivate me to maybe work a little bit harder because I really want the Chanel bag or the Hermes boots or whatever. And they're also little moments of me to say like, well done. So when I think I've done a good job, I like to commemorate that. So that's how I see all of this stuff now. They're moments. They bring moments of excitement, moments of joy, but it's fleeting, and it's not what you have in terms of materialistic things that creates a life of luxury. Is this gonna ruffle a few feathers? I don't know. But for me, I've spent the last week noting down little things that I do that give me these overwhelming feelings of happiness, joy, and living a good life. And that to me is luxury. And so I wanted to note down those things, and I wanted to share them with you just in case they inspire you guys to maybe introduce a little bit more of luxury into your life. And you might think of this as something else. So these things that I might sit here and tell you, you might be like, well, that's just like self-care, Lydia. For me, self-care is luxury. That is the ultimate in luxury. And whilst I love all of like the products that come with it, you don't need it. And I love them, and I totally indulge in them, and I totally use them. But I want to make it clear to you guys that you don't need to spend a penny in order to have these moments, this luxurious feeling, this indulgence and this happiness in your life. And I want to share a few of the things that I do in order to create more of that in my life. So whilst I appreciate I am sat in my dressing room, surrounded by all of this, I want you to understand that these are all just moments. They aren't luxury to me anymore. You might also want to stick around to the end of the video because I will pop a discount code that I have. This video is not part of a sponsorship, but I thought maybe if you wanted to take advantage of this discount code, I will pop it at the end. If you're wondering what makeup is on my face, then that may well be for you, but I'll pop it at the end of the video, so if you want to watch it, you can make full use of it. So how I got to this point was, I don't know if anyone who is a long-term viewer will know, but I used to talk about this overwhelming sense of joy that I felt. I felt that when I lived at my house in Willen Park. If you haven't watched my wardrobe tour of my house in Willen Park, please go watch it, because you will not see a prouder person of a wardrobe than that person there. I was so proud. That was my walk-in wardrobe. That was my goal. I owned my own home, and I was so proud, okay? And I've always had these senses of joy and this overwhelming sense of happiness. And during the COVID pandemic, I lost that. Like, it just fizzled away, and I couldn't understand why. And true to form, I did absolutely everything I could in order to get that feeling back. I'm not someone that sits around and wants to be gentle with myself in any way, shape or form. I throw myself in, and I will not stop until I achieve what it is that I'm trying to achieve. And that was what I did. I tried everything. I Googled everything. And believe it or not, to create happiness, not once did they say, buy the bag. Buy the bag, Lydia. it was all of these things that I feel like we see a lot of online, but I think I wanted to talk about it a little in depth. But that feeling of joy, that happiness is the luxury. That's the living the good life. And that is what I want to create more of in my life and hopefully in your lives. Some of you might already know this and think that this is very, very simple, but I know that there will be people out there who still think that the bags and the shoes are the luxuries. So first up, we have the dog walks. Now, you do not have to have a dog to have a dog walk. I know, it's phenomenal. Although for me, it was the dog walks that I realized, I think it's on those walks where I started to feel that overwhelming sense of joy coming back, because I was outside with Porter. There was nobody else around. It was quiet. I was watching the seasons changing. Every day, the woodlands looked different. The grasses looked different. There were different animals to see. There were different sounds, different smells. I cannot express to you what it felt like when I smelled spring for the first time, because I was in the darkest place in my life. And I remember walking through the woodland and I was just breathing in this like intoxicating fragrance from all of the plants and flowers around me. And it was in that moment that I was like, this is it. This is it coming back. I feel overwhelmed with happiness, and that I wanted to just bottle it up. And I knew in that moment that getting Porter was one of the best decisions that I'd ever made, because it had forced me into a position where I was leaving my house daily, getting outside, getting sunlight on my skin, because quite often I could just lock myself up here and just film for hours and hours and hours on end. I was outside, I was living life. I didn't take my phone out unless I was taking a picture. I'd talk to Porter, we'd have the best conversations, and that was such a luxury. So if you're someone that maybe doesn't enjoy the dog walks, try doing them on your own, try getting outside, really pay attention to everything. Keep your phone in your pocket and listen to the sounds, the smells, the feeling of the cold air that's now coming in on your face. If you just pay attention to those things, you are going to be blown away by the overwhelming sense of joy that you experience, is all that I can basically describe it as. And I've got to be honest, because the dog walks for me, I was worried. I was worried that they were going to feel like a chore, and I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough time. And so I made time, because they were absolutely incredible. So if you have a reason to get outside, maybe you've got a cat that you walk, or a rabbit, or a child, or a partner, I would strongly suggest, as part of your, if not daily, weekly routine, you schedule in 2 to 3 hour-long walks outside. Even if you don't go with someone else and you just go on your own, it's definitely a good excuse. I feel less weird going for walks on my own with a dog. I have to say that. That's my own though. But I love getting out there. And so if you ever needed a prompt, today is that prompt. Number 2 is journaling. Okay, journaling is the one that I'm like, it's a work in progress for me, because I'm not there yet with it, but I love it when I'm doing it. It's kind of like how I feel when I was doing the dog walks to begin with, when I was running to begin with. We'll get to that later. It takes a while. It isn't an instant feeling of like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever done. It's an investment. You know it's good for you, but it's not just gonna happen like that. It's like everything in life. Nothing just comes like that. You have to work at it, and you have to really stick at it, make a point of it until it's part of your routine. That's when you start to see the benefits and feel the benefits. Recording memories, recording feelings, writing down your motivations and your drive and the things that you're looking forward to, the things that you're grateful for, all of those things, just having them written down on paper. And I hear so many people say, oh, I can't do anything unless it's written down. Oh my gosh, if you are one of those people, you need to be journaling, because I only really digest and take things in when I've handwritten them down. There's no good writing them in my phone or recording them. I have to physically sit down and write them out. It's how I'm most productive in work, when I'm writing down my to-do lists, and it's how I experience the most gratification from journaling, from writing those things down, those moments that bring me happiness, just so they're there on paper and I can go back and I can read them, and I know that in a year's time I'll be able to go back to the beginning of my journal and relive those moments and remember them and never forget them, but also see the progress that journaling has given me, and the happiness and the purpose that it gives you, because it keeps your eyes focused on the things that they should be focused on. Next up, and this is probably one of the biggest game changers I think that you will ever do in your social media life. Over the last few months, I would say, I have spent a lot of time curating my social media. So no one will know that I've done this. No one will be able to see. There's been no public unfollowing of anyone, but what there has been is there's been a curation of a space that fills me up rather than drains me. I wanted to create a feed for myself that every time I opened it, I was served things that make me happy, things that inspire me. So I curated accounts that did that. Whether that's following the Daxon hashtag on Instagram, which I highly recommend. Thank you to my friend Josie for recommending that, because the doses of happiness that that hashtag feeds me on a daily basis, I can't deal. But it's also following accounts that share inspirational words, whether that's poetry, whether that's quotes, whether that's lists. I love a list. So when something's like your morning routine, I'm like, screen grab, set as my homepage, remember to do that every single day. All of those things, reading those words really do inspire me and make me feel happy. There will be accounts on the internet that drain you. You might even find that my account drains you sometimes. I mean, God forbid. I don't know how that could be the case. No, but I understand. I understand that sometimes when you're in a dark place, following someone that's living their best life and buying all of the things that you don't have isn't easy. And I am well aware of that. I also know that there is a lot of women that follow me that are waiting to see what it is I've been buying and how I'm living my best life. So it's finding that happy medium. And so it's almost taking control of your own space online and understanding when someone is no longer filling you up and someone might be draining you. You don't have to unfollow them. And actually for me, what I really like is to check in with people when I feel in the right space to. So I'll go onto people's accounts that do inspire me, but I don't need to see their stuff every single day. I know that I can find their content, I can catch up, I can comment and like and love and give all of that stuff, but I get to choose when I do that, rather than opening up my phone and being served loads of stuff that I'm not ready to see. Instead, I'm served puppy dogs and inspirational quotes and someone making bread. So if you are struggling in your life, or maybe you're just looking to create a space that is far more positive, then I would definitely suggest just going along, maybe muting stories, muting posts, liking lots of the content on the accounts that you do follow, but you can literally mute everyone and have like 5 accounts that come up on your feed. It's amazing and it really does make a difference. Failing that, go onto Pinterest, because I cannot express to you, going on Pinterest is like lighting a fire up my backside. Whenever I'm on Pinterest, I can't do it when I go to bed. If I go on Pinterest before bed, that's it. I've rebranded my entire site. I've got a new style of photography. I've got a new morning routine, evening routine. I'm gonna bake some brownies tomorrow. Literally, it is the most inspirational place. So if maybe Instagram isn't doing that for you, I would definitely suggest checking out Pinterest. But curating your feeds is a luxury that you have, and it doesn't cost you anything. You can choose who you want to fill yourself up with on a daily basis and the content that you want to fill yourself up with. So if that's one piece of advice I could give you, it would be that. Next up, and you're gonna hate me for this one, but regular exercise. Oh my gosh. And this is the one that I still battle with now. Like, I literally have to have a PT come and kick me out of bed at 6 a.m. because I am terrible for it. But the funniest thing is there has and you know those quotes, those really annoying quotes that like, what is it that they say? It's like, you've never had a bad workout or something like that. I can't remember what yeah, there's just those weird quotes that you're like, damn it, you're so right. You never regret a workout. That's the one. I have never regretted a workout. And I honestly, like, it blows my mind that it's so hard to do, but if you can kick yourself out of bed, which I do regularly, I do get myself out there and I run. It's the weight training that I struggle with, but you don't have to have a home gym. You don't have to live anywhere spectacular to do it. You can get outside and you can walk or you can run, but you will feel another level of fulfillment when you look back on your week and record it as well. I mean, I record everything using my Apple Watch, but if you've got a diary or a journal or whatever, I have like a year view in my everyday work diary. And if I work out, I just scribble out the day. And when you see all of these black marks where you've worked out, you're like, oh my gosh, I've done so well. It is the most inspiring thing. Once you start, it just slowly and gradually becomes part of your holistic, luxurious lifestyle that you're trying to create. And if you can schedule that amount of time for yourself as much as possible during your week, you are going to have your head in the most I get so passionate that I lose my train of thought. I'm like, oh, there's so much I need to tell you. But basically, it's all about creating a routine that is sustainable for you in that sense. So for me, sometimes my work schedule gets so manic that I do struggle to get in the workouts, but I know that as soon as that time has passed, I've got to pick it back up. And I notice every single time the effects that it has on me mentally. It doesn't cost you anything to get outside, even if it's just walking or jogging or running. The feeling that it gives you when you get home, the way that I'm like sweaty and I've got it out the way before I start my day, it just feels electric. I'm such a cringe fest, but it's true. Next up is going to bed early and getting up early. Now I know that there are some people that are like night owls and they're most productive at night, but for me, going to bed early and getting up early is just the most inspiring and the most fulfilling thing that I can do for myself. I still struggle. Sometimes I've scrolled too far and all of a sudden it's like 11:30 and I'm still awake and I know I'm not going to get up early tomorrow. But I have to be honest with you, it's so easy to get back on the horse on that one because it's such an important thing and it makes such a difference that soon you realize, oh my gosh, I got up at 5 o'clock today and I got so much work done that I was able to finish work early and get out in the garden. That is how I need every single day to be. And I feel refreshed, I feel amazing, I feel like I've slept well, but all it is just shunting my sleeping pattern along. So I wake up in the morning feeling ready to go, but it's 5, 6, whatever AM, and you are firing on all cylinders. It is a luxury that doesn't cost anything, and it really does make you feel a sense of fulfillment in your world that I, again, am unable to put into words because it's wonderful. Next up, we have more on the content side of things, but this is more sort of long form content. And all of the stuff that I consume is about filling up my cup, basically. I talked about this in my last vlog, but everything I do is about filling up my cup because my cup can so easily be drained that I have to constantly be topping it up with all of the things that get it to its brim so that should I get a little bit low, I know exactly what to do. So one thing I like to do is start my day either listening to a podcast or an audiobook that isn't like a story. It's not something that's going to give me like a little bit of escapism. It's really beneficial words and advice and conversations that benefit me, advise me without me having to, you know, speak to anyone about it. I just pop on something that's really inspiring and I've always talked about this, but like nuggets of information from it that really change and help me progress as a human. And you don't have to spend money on that either. Podcasts are free. You don't have to go and buy all of the audiobooks. That's just if you are wanting to maybe spend a little bit. But I would also say that an Audible membership, you pay monthly and I get like 5 free credits a month or something, and I've never used them up. Like, and I listen to audiobooks non-stop and I never use them up. I personally look for really inspiring podcasts like Diary of a CEO, High Performance, Happy Place. All of those kinds of things are conversations and podcasts that really fill me with a sense of motivation, fulfillment and happiness, basically. So I would definitely say that just when you're doing those mundane tasks around the house, whether it's doing the ironing, doing the cooking, doing your makeup, it's such a great way to get in some hours of listening, long car journeys, commutes, those kinds of things. You are able to plow through content that really does inspire and bring, again, that sense of fulfillment, which to me really is the ultimate luxury. So I'll pop some links to some of the places that I love, and maybe some of the books as well, but you can always find the books on my library tab over on my blog. Next up is, you're gonna laugh at me so much, but it's like homemade, homegrown things. I used to always buy people gifts that were like quite, I was always the person that liked to buy people gifts like that were a little bit over the top. And now my favorite gifts to give people, probably much to the dismay of like my family and friends, are things that I've made or grown myself. And I love that. I don't even care if no one else loves it, although I'm sure they do. Who doesn't love something that has been homemade or homegrown? And you don't have to do what I do in my extraness and go and put in a greenhouse and raise beds. You can dig a hole in your ground, you can put some peat-free soil in, and you can grow something, whatever it is you want to do. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate things the way that I do. You'll get the same sense of fulfillment and the same gratification, because I cannot tell you the feeling that I get in my soul when Ali and I are in the kitchen, like we're cooking like a pasta sauce or something like that, and we're like, oh, we could definitely do with a few more carrots, and I just tootle off to my kitchen garden and pull some carrots out of the ground, and we cook them, and they taste so good. Oh my gosh, I always wondered whether it was just like they taste so good because, you know, you grew them and you put the effort in, so they better taste good. No, they taste like you would not believe. Even my brother took some home the other week and he messaged me to be like, the kids absolutely loved these carrots. And I'm like, I know. But even if you don't have a garden, or if you don't have the ability, I mean, just grow some herbs. Just grow some herbs. I cannot explain to you how amazing it feels to just chop some rosemary off of your plant, chop it up finely and pop it in a little pinch bowl by your cooker so that you can just add something that you've grown yourself into your food. It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. So if you live in a flat, you don't have a garden, you've got a windowsill, I hope, buy some seeds. I know I said it was free, but buy some seeds, okay? I'll send you some seeds. But again, if you're not in a position to grow things, just making things from scratch. My favorite thing at the moment to send people on their way with is my homemade glow tonic, which is literally just water, lemon juice and ginger zhuzhed up and put into beautiful little bottles that I found on Amazon. I tie a little label around it, and that for me is like, I can't even explain to you how happy it makes me. Next up is getting organized. Again, doesn't cost a thing. You don't have to hire a professional organizer. Even last night, I just was getting into bed and I opened my bedside drawer and it was just stressing me out. It was just an absolute mess. Every time I was trying to close it, it just wouldn't close, and I was just, no, there's like retainers in there, there's everything in there. It's like, I need to streamline this. This is something that my husband is so good at. He just organizes as he goes. So he's always Mr. Organized. I am not. But there will be those moments where I'm like, I need, for my mind, I just need to organize stuff. And that's what I'll do. So if you have some time in an evening or a weekend and you are kind of maybe feeling a little bit stressed out by your space, it's something that I feel really often. Do some organizing. Maybe have a little bit of a clear out and a streamline and a declutter, and I cannot tell you the effect on my well-being that has. And finally, this one is a personal favorite. I love fresh bedding and fresh pajamas. Like, if I could bottle that feeling up of putting on some fresh pajamas, getting into freshly washed sheets, I would. So this is your reminder to change your bed sheets and get yourself some fresh pajamas out of your drawer. Maybe even iron them. and really savor every moment of getting into bed. Iron your bed sheets as well. Go all out, okay? Because ironing your bed sheets, oh my gosh, I can just imagine the back and forth that we're gonna have in the comments about ironed bed sheets, because I've seen people do this before. But iron your bed sheets, okay? And thank me later, because they are amazing. But that feeling as well is just, that's a luxury. It's like getting into a hotel bed. It's phenomenal. And though that is another moment that you can just add to your day that will fill you up and feel incredible. And that's, I think that's what I realized about my life, is that I like creating these little moments of satisfaction around me, whether that is drinking ice cold water that's literally come from the tap. I put it in those like Kilner bottles, but we get them from like, they're what's left over from our olive oil. Basically, we buy this really nice olive oil and I reuse the bottles and I fill it up with water and I put it in the fridge and it looks beautiful. The water is cold. It's great for if you have guests and you just get a cold bottle of water out and pop it on the table in my beautiful rustic recycled glass, and I pour myself my glass of water, and that moment for me is like nothing that I can describe. It's just everything that I want to create in my space, is these tiny little moments that make me feel happy. And that is what I mean when I talk about luxury. And that is what I mean when I say that I have these overwhelming feelings of joy constantly throughout my day, because I have literally noted down the things that fill me up and I do more of them, and I do them every day. And I make sure that nothing stands between me and those moments. So if you are wanting to introduce a little bit more luxury into your life, forget the handbags and shoes. They're nice, but they have their place. Note down the things throughout your day that make you feel incredible, that make you feel happy, and that make you feel like you've just had a tiny little moment of indulgence, and do more of that, because that is how you live a life of luxury. I am such a cringe fest. But I don't care. I literally don't care. If there is something that fills your cup on a day-to-day basis, please let me know in the comments. I want to be inspired as well. And let me know if you will be incorporating any of those things. Remember, give it time. It's not just gonna be instant. There'll just be this one day when you're out doing something or doing one of these things and you'll be like, Lydia, I get it. Also, you might have seen over on my Instagram that I worked with By Terry today. This video is not part of that sponsorship. I wanted to let you know that I do have a discount code for their new palette, which is what I have used on my face. I've got the By Terry CC serum on my face and the new palette. I've used it for my bronzer and I've used it on my eyes as well. My lipstick is By Terry, my eyes are By Terry. Everything that you are seeing is By Terry. Okay, I was feeling very Parisian. But I just wanted to let you know that I've got 20% off. So if you want to go and check that out, it is over on my Instagram now. So you can make full use of that. And I hope that you enjoy it. And I will try to film more videos like this in the future. But let me know if you enjoyed it and give it a thumbs up if you did. Thank you so much for watching. If you aren't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below. And also give this video a thumbs up because it makes such a difference. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.